Hello friends, welcome to the series of lectures on digital marketing and e-commerce. I am Dr. Suchita Vishwakarma, Assistant Professor with Department of Management, School of Management Sciences, Lucknow. Today we are going to start our unit 5 of this particular subject, and the first topic of our unit 5 is talking about application of e-commerce. So, this is what we are going to understand in detail in today's lecture. So, let us get started. In this particular topic, lecture or session, whatever you want to say, we would be talking about these 4 aspects, that means the introduction of e-commerce, history of e-commerce, advantage and disadvantage of e-commerce, and also we will take in consideration the roadmap of e-commerce. So, let us start with the introduction to e-commerce. So, e-commerce is one word which has been which has created a lot of buzzword in last 2 decades, and we all have been using this particular word very much in today's life. So, e-commerce basically stands for electronic commercialization. So, electronic commercialization, what do we understand by, what can we understand from this is basically commerce or commercialization basically means a trade activity that happens between two or more people, and this commercial activity is basically for the purpose of for getting the profit or for basically generating certain business. And when a company or maybe when 2 or 3 people engaged in this commercial activity does that on an electronic platform, then it is called basically e-commerce. So, e-commerce can be understood as a buying and selling of goods and services via internet, and the transfer of money and the data is also taken through this process only. So, it is also known as electronic commerce or very popularly also known as internet commerce, and this concept first came in 1970s. So, proper definition is of e-commerce has also been given by various organizations. Let us understand them in more detail. The World Trade Organization has defined e-commerce as that e-commerce is basically the production, distribution, marketing, sales or delivery of goods and services by electronic mean. So, that means all the various activities of the organization or the supply chain is being done through the e-commerce platform, that means through the by the usage of internet. This is how World Trade Organization has defined it. Let us also consider the second definition, which was given by Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, that is OECD, and they have defined that e-commerce is basically a commercial transaction involving both organization and individuals that are based on processing and transmission of digital data, including text, sound, visual images, and that are carried out over open networks or closed networks that have gateway onto the open network. So, what does this basically mean? This basically means that OECD says that this is a commercial transaction in which the transfer of data is in the form of digital data, and that transfer of data could be in the form of information, it could be form of visual, sounds, anything that the company wants to, through which they want to communicate this. So, that means they are basically trying to say that it is in replacement of the print, print electronic and the print and electronic media, and this could be carried out on any kind of network. It could be closed network or open network, but then the access of this network should be public. That means most of the people across the world should be able to access these kinds of information. So, this is how OECD has explained defined the electronic commerce. Now, before we talk anything beyond the introduction, let us have a quick look on the history of electronic commerce, how this concept, when and how this concept came up. So, electronic commerce is basically a concept which was developed, which was given somewhere around 1960s, and as you can see, I have shown you through a tabular chart over here that in 1960s electronic data EDI came into existence. So, it was electronic data interchange process, that means when companies started adopting the process of interchanging the data from one computer to another through the use of one computer to another, and this is how the electronic commerce, the origination of electronic commerce came up. In 1969, CompuServe was founded by the electric engineer students Dr. John R. Goltz and Jeffrey Wilkins, and in the 1980s, this CompuServe was introduced some of the earlier forms of emails also and internet connectivity to people. So, this in basically in 1969, this CompuServe was one milestone, you can say, when basically these electrical engineering students helped the people to find a connectivity with the public, and they were able to find out the ways through which through one connection the company can interact and have an interface with many people at the same time. Then in 1979, Michael Edritz came up with the idea of connecting televisions and computers with the telephone lines, and this gave up to the rise of the concept of online grocery marketing. Then in 1981, Thomson Travel was one of the tourism company which had 66 travel agents and which were spread all over England, and they at this particular Thomson Travel company tried to link up with all their 66 agents, and this is how the B2B marketing came, the concept of B2B marketing came up. Then in 1982, a telecom company in France invented Minitel, which was again another milestone in the history of e-commerce. And this basically gave up the concept of WWW, that is World Wide Web online services, and through this the reach of the e-commerce further enhanced. Then in 1982, Boston Computer Exchange launched the world's first e-commerce company, and this basically facilitated and served as online market for people who are interested in selling their used computers. So, the first e-commerce company was for selling the used computers. Then in 84, the Tesco launched the first B2C online shopping system, which was used for home shopping and that later got the name of online shopping trolley. In 1987, a concept of merchant account was also launched, and why was merchant account required? Because the people were also required to do the payment, and so for facilitating the payment system, this merchant account concept came up, and in 1987 this was made possible, and from then people started doing the payment also online. In 1990, the first web browser launched named as World Wide Web, which was later given the name of Nexus. And in 1992, Charles M. Stack introduced the first Bookstack Unlimited online bookstore. So, this was again a milestone, as this particular person, Charles M. Stack, brought up a concept of bookstore which was available online, and in 1994 the site was switched to internet and was operated from the name of book.com domain. Further in 1994, Netscape came up with encryption certificate, and this encryption certificate basically helped the people who are communicating through the internet through the internet to make their communication very private and very safe. That means no one else, the third party or any third person, could not have access to whatever communication is happening between two parties. So, this basically encryption concept increased a lot of credibility and concept confidence and trust among the two parties who were transacting. It could be the business and the customer, or it could be business to business. So, this basically helped in sharing or encouraging the people, or rather motivating the people to also share their personal informations, and without the fear of getting any kind of fraudulent activity. Then in 1995, a very popular person, now very popular person, Jeff Bezos, introduced Amazon, which was primarily the first e-commerce platform for the books. Then in 1998, Cofinity was introduced by founder Max Levin, Peter Thiel, like Nosek and Ken Hori, which was later renamed as PayPal. So, PayPal was one e-cash payment method through which transfer of money could happen between the people which were transacting online. Then in 1999, Alibaba launched a online marketplace with more than with more than $25 million funding, and by 2001 the company was very profitable, and this company was offering the products not only for the B2C market but also for B2B, B2C, C2C and so on. So, that means this particular platform Alibaba.com was very popular and had a lot of spread and a lot of usability for many kind of people. Then in 2000, the PayPal merged with X.com, an online banking company, and began its rise to fame and popularity. So, that means the various milestones over here, as you can see, the various milestones basically helped in the ease through which the people were transacting through the e-commerce channel. Then in 2000, Google introduced the Google AdWord concept, and as a result the advertising concept also got enhanced, and so people started doing lot of online advertising, and then they found that this digital platform, this e-commerce platform is one way of increasing their presence, for improving their presence on the digital platform, and for increasing their leads and increasing their sales also. Then in 2004, Shopify was the company that launched platform for online stores and point of sale system. So, this is how it happened, and then in 2005 Amazon introduced Amazon Prime membership. So, Amazon was expanding during this phase, and in 2005 they launched various kinds of product and services, and Amazon Prime membership was one such offer which was launched by Amazon, which helped the customers get more loyal to the Amazon, and there was a mutual benefit which was shared by Amazon and the customers. Then in 2005, Etsy launched, allowing crafters and small sellers to sell products, including the digital products, through online marketplace. In 2000, big commerce was also launched. In 2011, furthermore improvements were happened in the electronic payment system methods, and Google Wallet introduced the digital payment method. In 2012, even the food industry also went online, and food shopping also went virtual. Then in 2014, Google Pay introduced a mobile payment method. So, there were a lot of companies who were actually striving and who were trying to come up with newer concepts of easing the complete e-commerce transactions. Then in 2017, shoppable Instagram was also introduced, and e-commerce remains unstoppable. So, Instagram also came up, and there also people started shopping, and there were provisions which allowed the customers, allowed the individuals to purchase the product. And so, by in the last decade, if you talk about there has been lot of modifications, lot of things have changed, and this also further encouraged further got improved by 2020 COVID pandemic spread, because during this period also people were restricted at their home, but still the purchasing that they were doing was through the online channel, and most of the countries and most of the companies encouraged this particular platform because people were not allowed to move out. And so, this complete the various milestones, the various things that happened across around the electronic commerce industry basically helped and motivated people to go online rather than offline. So, over here you can see that the history that we have discussed, how that history has basically helped improve the performance of retail e-commerce sales worldwide. So, this particular statistics, if you see, is from 2014 to 2021, and obviously has also got a forecast till 2024, and you can see the sales in billion $US in 2014 has been 1336, while in 2021 it has reached almost 3 times to 4891, and is expected further to grow up to 6388 billion US dollar by 2024. So, you can see how steep the increase is, and how more people are now feeling that they should purchase their products and services online in comparison to offline mode. This particular statistics would show you the market size of e-commerce industry across India from 2014 to 2018 with a forecast until 2027, and you can see that in value terms in 2014 approximately 14 billion US dollar was the market size of e-commerce industry in India, which went up to 2020 which went up to 84 billion US dollar in 2021 and is expected to go up to 200 US billion dollar by 2027. So, you can see how steep the curve is. That means, how many people nowadays in India have also started using this e-commerce industry, has also started accepting the e-commerce platform for their purchases. With more of digitization, which is now the focus of the government also, with more of digitization happening, with more of people who are using mobiles across the country, that means in India, there are chances that the amount of purchases, the market size of e-commerce industry will further grow up, because most of the industries are now opting for this e-commerce platform. Now, let us have a quick look on few interesting facts of India. In India, the Indian e-commerce sector is ranked 9th in the cross-border growth in across the world. So, you can over here you can see that how quick the expansion is happening in India, and how the way that the Indian companies are now expanding cross-border, and due to which we are now being ranked 9th. India's e-commerce festive sale season from October 15 to November 15 in 2020 was recorded to be approximately rupees 58,000 crore and worth of gross sales for the brand and sellers, and which was up by 65% from 35,000 crore in the previous year. That means, in 2020 due to the COVID pandemic reasons also, and due to people who were restricted to purchase from the offline methods from the physical motor shop, and so the online the people opted for this online platform e-commerce transactions, and so the growth was 65% more compared to 2019. As of June, another fact about India, that as of June 25, 2021, the government e-marketplace, which is again a portal which serves, which is basically government to business kind of platform, where the government allows people who are interested to sell the products and or are suppliers of products which are of use to the government. For them also, the portal served to be of 6.87 million orders worth rupees 1,16,291 crores from 2 million registered sellers and service providers. So, you can see that the number of registered sellers also increased, and the government to the business kind of transactions also increased to a larger extent in 2021. Now, all of this is happening because both the parties are getting benefited, and when I am saying both the parties, it does not mean only the company, but it also means the customer also. So, let us have a quick look on the various kinds of benefits that both the parties, that means the company and the customer, is getting by transacting through online channel. So, the benefits or the advantages to the company is increase of efficiency. As we had discussed in the previous lectures also, that the cost of being present online is comparatively very less in comparison to being present offline. So, the cost is less and the revenue is more. So, this is leading to more of profit, more of revenue. Increase in efficiency, because now since through internet everyone is able to communicate and respond to each other's query at a very fast pace. I need not wait to go to the online to the offline shop and then search for the product, or if I have any even any complaint or grievance, then also I need not wait and go the next time. So, this complete process is getting very fast. The company and the customers are able to communicate, they are able to identify what the customer wants and accordingly respond to it, and so this is increasing the efficiency altogether. Then the e-commerce also providing a bigger platform for the companies to display their lots of products. That means, over here now there is no shelf where there would be a salesperson who would be displaying one product after another. The e-commerce channel provides a display of all the products. So, any person, any individual can search from the different products which are displayed. Then obviously, as I discussed, the cost is less. Affordable advertising and marketing strategy, because whatever advertising or advertising campaign that the company wants to design can be changed, can be reused, can be altered anytime on a real time basis, and it is very affordable because the company has a choice of doing a small advertising campaign or a bigger one, or accordingly they also have the options of affiliate marketing, they also have the options of creating their own websites, they also have the options of creating their doing it through the influencer marketing and so. And then obviously display of product and price is very that is very easy. Faster response to buyer and market demand, as I said, the company can respond to the queries and the complaints of the customers at a real time basis. The processing of the orders is very fast. There are more options for the company to display different kind of product, and which will basically improve their cross selling opportunities also. And the customer experience is also improves, because the customer is able to purchase the products or search their products according to their own convenient time within their set of convenience and the friends and family. And all of this basically helps the company also to identify that what are the different kinds of people who are coming to their website and understand their analytics as well. Apart from the company, the customers are also getting benefited. Customers are getting benefited in terms of the flexibility and the convenience that they have. They can now do the shopping from any place, any company which is present within the boundaries or outside the boundaries of the country. They are able to have a proper evaluation of the products and prices. They are able to compare it. They have the option to purchase the products from 24/7. So, there is no opening time or close time. The travel time also gets saved. There is a lot of convenience also, because sitting back at my home also I can do it anytime. There are a lot of offers and bargain deals also which are coming up, and the reviews also helps the customers to understand that how has been the product actually, which this particular review option is not present in the offline market. So, these are the various advantages. Now, let us also have a quick look on the disadvantages of e-commerce. Despite various advantages, there are certain disadvantages also. These disadvantages includes securities. That means they still up till a few years back there was a lot of issues related to security. However, companies are coming up with more encrypted forms, more secure payment methods also, but security is still one area of concern. There are chances that the site would crash and my processing would not complete. Non-tangibility is again one concept, that means as a customer I cannot feel, touch or see and accordingly judge the quality of the product. There are chances, however, most of the very renowned companies are not coming up with this concept. That means the late delivery, there are chances that late delivery can happen, but again companies are putting lot of effort to rectify this. Product specific constraints, there are certain products for which purchasing online is difficult. For example, milk product which is very perishable or maybe more fragile products, for them purchasing online could be difficult. Lack of privacy, because as an individual, as a customer, I am required to put in lot of information, personal information for the e-commerce transactions. So, that is a lack of privacy, and I am making myself very access and open to people to have a look on my information and accordingly use it for promoting their further products. Then there are certain legal issues also. The technological cost is high because the company needs to have a merchant and the company needs to have a complete logistics channel and also. Then the shipping problem, as I said, logistic problem could lead to problems in e-commerce activity. There is a lot of resistance and fear and probably fear among the customers even today also, that they are not the senior citizens, the elder generations are still very much not open to online purchases. High labor cost because there are a lot of people who has to be involved in logistics process. Lack of personal touch is obviously one. There has been credit card frauds also in the previous years, which has led us to such kind of fear. Dependency on website and severe competition. Lot of companies are now coming on e-commerce platform. So, this is also one of the disadvantages. Now, let us also have a look on the roadmap of e-commerce. In India specifically, the Indian online grocery market is estimated to reach $18.2 billion by 2024 with expanding CAGR of 57%. So, you can see that how extensively the grocery market is increasing and how people have started accepting, and not only accepting but also purchasing through this online grocery market. India's e-commerce order volume increased by 36% in the last quarter by 2020, and you can see that India's internet users are also expected to reach to 900 billion by 2025, and so obviously the CAGR of the e-commerce industry is also expected to grow. The roadmap of e-commerce further illustrates that the growth of smart e-devices are also one of the reasons of growth of e-commerce industry. Trained and skilled labor is also available now. People are using it now. People know that how e-commerce has to be used. Then faster implementation of new government initiatives. Government is also focusing on encouraging this kind of initiative of e-commerce activities in the various industries. The new delivery models which have also come up. The generation Z, that is the millennial generation, is very much tech savvy, and they are finding it very convenient for them to purchase online in comparison to the offline mode. And there are various other kind of benefits also in terms of the technology which is present, the hyper local logistics, the analytical driven customer engagement process. So, all of them together are basically leading or creating a way forward for improving the e-commerce activities. So, with this I finish up my session today over here. For detailed understanding you can go to these websites. Thank you.